Hey, what is up, boys, girls, ladies, and gentlemen? Welcome back to the main takeaways of patch 10.25. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. We're going to cover one new champion, two mini reworks, a series of nerfs and buffs. Overall, I think this new champion is going to be OP, if not then really strong. But then again, when our new champion's not, and I think that their attempts to relocate Pantheon to the top lane are going to be unsuccessful. Rell is a tanky support. Her E makes her link with an ally and provides the ally passive resistances. When using E without hovering her cursor over an ally, she stuns everyone around her, her linked ally, and everyone in between. Her Q is merely a poke that breaks shields. When she's linked up, her Q also heals her and her ally by percent missing health as well as break shields. Her W has two parts. First part, if she's on a horse, she jumps off the horse, knocking up enemies around her, gaining resistances and losing movement speed. When she is in that form, she presses W again. She will mount up on her horse, lose her resistances, get her movement speed back, run in a set distance straight line and fling back the first enemy she hits, kind of like an Ergot E. Her ultimate makes her Oriana's ball, pulls enemies towards her, keeps them around her for 2 seconds, all the while dealing AoE magic damage. Overall, I think she's going to be a competitive level pick. Pros like champions who can deal a lot of CC, who can engage, and who are mobile. She is all the above. In normals, she's also going to be incredibly strong because now tanks are incredibly strong. 2 plus 2 equals to 4. Anivia has got a whole host of changes to her Q. For starters, her Q travels faster, it costs less mana. The cooldowns have been tweaked, so in the early levels, it's going to have come off cooldown faster. However, in the later levels, the cooldown has increased. Her Q explosion damage has gone up, while the Q travel damage has gone down. Her E has been set to a flat 40 mana, while the damage has been increased. Her ult has been buffed from 6-second flat cooldown to 4, 2.5, and 1 based on levels. However, the base damage has been reduced, but the scaling has remained the same. Everybody's favorite Baker is being Riot is trying to relocate everybody's favorite Baker by taking away 5 of his movement speed, reducing the passive slow from his Q when it's empowered. His W damage is going up in later levels. His E is going to get increased movement speed when moving backwards and is not going to be able to tank towers anymore. But his ultimate is going to give him a passive flat 10% armor penetration. Overall, I think this changes nothing. Pantheons are still going to go bot more than they're going to go top. Pantheons are still going to max Q because because Q scales off AD while W scales off AP. No Pantheon builds AP, and people are going to max E over W because E cooldown reduction from level when max is higher than W's cooldown reduction when max. So overall, I think everything is literally going to stay the same. Good effort by Riot. These are the nerfs that are going down in this patch. Fizz is going to have less mana. Jin's Q is going to deal less damage later in the game. The same goes for Kale's E. Kane's Q cooldown is going up by 1 second whilst the damage is being taken down by 10 flat, which I really think is not going to change much. I still think we're going to see lots of Kanes. And Mira's Q and R lifesteal is being capped at 66.6%. God bless. Gone are the days, hopefully, that when she spins around in her ultimate, she can drain tank harder than a full armored Malphite against a full AD team. We can only hope that's the case. The very minor buffs for this patch, Lulu is taking 10% AP, as having 10% flat AP and scaling AP taken away from her Q. However, if you hit both parts of her Q, you do additional 25 bonus damage. For all you support snipers and Lulu mains, I'm sure you're ecstatic about this change. Lily's Q damage is going up, but her EQ and E mana cost is going down. Seraphine's getting a shield, and Mordekaiser's isolation Q damage is going up by 10%. Overall, I think we'll see a bit more Lulu, but I don't think it's going to change anything about the below 3 champions. Maybe mid lane Seraphine will have a better time against assassins now. Nili has always been a hard champion, so Nili mains might enjoy this, but overall, I don't think it's going to affect her play rate. And I personally enjoy this very much because I use Mordekaiser to climb in ranked. The isolation damage is going to be very, very enjoyable for me. Moving on to items, there's a series of nerfs and buffs. Tanks are getting a minor nerf. Yon and Yasuo are getting a minor buff, and supports are getting the biggest buff of this patch. These are nerfs that sting slightly. Bombies is going to be a bit more expensive. Sunfire is going to provide less HP. Frostfire is going to give us a smaller slow radius as well as a smaller increase in size. Chem Tank is going to slow for 0.5 seconds less. Seekers is going to provide less AP. It's gone from 30 AP to 20 AP. However, when fully stacked, it still provides more armor than a chain vest. So, for you AP mages trying to run away from the Zeds and Talons of the game or the Lucian mids, this is still a great defensive item, and thus Blade Slow no longer triggers on range champions. Just a little quality of life change. I think overall it's a great change. This patch, thankfully, there are only 2 nerfs that hurt. One goes to ranged Eclipse users. The shield is going down by a flat 25 AD as well as 10% scaling AD. And for all you innovators out there, you really did it this time. You found something that was OP, and props goes to you. However, Riot caught on really fast, and Murumana now only procs on physical abilities. So for all you Ryze, Cassiopeia, Azir, and every other AP champion that wanted to build Murumana for mixed damage, you have very, very little time left. Spam it and abuse it while you can. When I first saw the changes to the below items we're about to go through, I thought this was, oh my goodness, Riot is finally giving some love to AD carries. However, upon further contemplation, I realized they're just trying to improve two of their most popular champions by reducing the cost of Zeal, Phantom Dancer, Rapid Fire Cannon, and Mortal Reminder, and changing around Infinity Age's damage. Infinity Age is going from an 8% increase in crit damage for every 20% crit you have to 60%, giving you 35% crit damage for 60% crit. So you just need to get 60% crit and you enjoy the entire bonus. The entire bonus, of course, gives you a stronger mid-game power spike. It lets you get there faster. However, overall, the maximum damage you could have gotten previously is higher at 40% than it is now at 35%. So now, Yuans and Yasuos are going to enjoy a 2 to 2.5, two item power spike, because 2 items give them about 80% crit, and so they're going to enjoy more crit damage with 2 items. However, as soon as they get to 3 items, they have been technically nerfed as they lose 5% crit damage. Overall, this looked like a buff, and this will help them get their items faster. So technically, it is a buff. However, in the late game and in the long run, both these champions also just got nerfed. And if you think that these 2 champions are having it bad, imagine the rest of the crit 80 carries who actually don't get the multiplier. They have to build 3 crit items to get this bonus, but once they hit their 4th or 5th crit item, it's not really going to help. Overall, 80 carries and the crit brothers are in a pretty awful spot still. Finally, wrapping up this patch, we've got some welfare for supports. Support mythics are going from 2,700 gold down to 2,500 gold. There are a whole 800 gold cheaper than some mid lane mythics. Ludens and Everfrost are getting back some ability haste. Zeke's resistances are going down, however the damage and the mark duration are going up. Overall, these are great changes, I think. Mythics cost going down, as well as some changes to utility mythic cost going down, as well as some changes to utility champions, I think. Maybe are paving the way for more utility mid laners to come out. This might not happen very much in normals, but I think in pro play there's a good chance of this happening. Ludens and Everfrost, these are just some quality of life changes. And Zeke's, perhaps we'll start seeing more of Zeke's as Zeke's becomes less of a tanky item, but it's still for tanks mainly, and more of a damage increasing for the rest of your team. These are all the changes we have for you in this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and we'll see you in the next video. See ya!